August 1776. The Declaration of Independence is barely a month old, and the man tasked with defending it is about to lose everything. We think of George Washington as the unshakable father of his country. But in the summer of 1776, on the shores of Long Island, Washington wasn't a master tactician. He was outmaneuvered, he was outgunned, and he had just walked his entire army into a death trap. This isn't the story of a victory. It's the story of the greatest escape in American history, and the single mistake that almost ended the United States before it began. The blunder started with geography. Washington had split his forces between Manhattan and Long Island, a violation of the cardinal rule of warfare. Never divide your army in the face of a superior enemy. But his fatal error was here, the Jamaica Pass. Washington assumed the British would attack head-on. He was wrong. General William Howe, often mocked as lazy, pulled off a brilliant night march. While Washington slept, 10,000 British soldiers marched silently through the undefended pass. By sunrise on August 27th, the trap snapped shut. The Americans weren't fighting a battle. They were being slaughtered. Washington watched from Brooklyn Heights, reportedly wringing his hands and crying out, "Good God, what brave fellows I must this day lose." The entire army was about to be crushed, but one group bought them time. The Maryland 400, outnumbered 10 to 1. These men didn't retreat. They charged, again and again. They threw themselves at the British line at the old stone house, effectively committing suicide to let the rest of the army retreat to the fortifications of Brooklyn Heights. They bought Washington hours, but he was still trapped. The British fleet was in the East River behind him. The British army was in front of him. Surrender seemed inevitable. Then two things happened that defy probability. First, General Howe paused. Instead of finishing the kill, he ordered his men to dig in for a siege. Second, the weather turned. A nor'easter storm prevented the British ships from sailing up the East River to block the retreat. Then, a thick, miraculous fog settled over Brooklyn. Under the cover of that fog, Washington ordered absolute silence. Cloth was wrapped around wagon wheels. Orders were whispered. For 9 hours, a regiment of fishermen from Marblehead, Massachusetts, rode 9,000 men, horses, and cannon across the mile-wide river to Manhattan. When the fog lifted the next morning, the British charged the American lines and found them empty. Washington was gone. He had saved the army, and in doing so, he saved the revolution. The Battle of Long Island was a tactical disaster, but the retreat, that was a masterpiece. It proved that while Washington could be beaten, he could not be caught. And as long as the army survived, the dream of independence stayed alive. Tell us what you think in the comments. Until next time, keep our heroes alive.